What if I told you that sleeping just a few hours less each night could quietly be pushing your body toward weight gain, mood swings, and even a shorter life? Most people think sleep is simply rest, but in reality, it's one of the most powerful biological processes keeping your body balanced and healthy. And when sleep is consistently poor, the effects can ripple through nearly every system in your body. Imagine finishing a long day and staying up late scrolling on your phone or watching just one more episode. It seems harmless, but inside your body, something important is happening. Your brain and hormones rely on sleep to reset and regulate themselves. When you don't get enough rest, that delicate system starts to fall out of balance. One of the first places this imbalance shows up is in your weight. Sleep deprivation disrupts two critical hormones that control hunger, ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is the hormone that tells your brain, "I'm hungry." Leptin does the opposite. It signals that you're full. When you don't sleep enough, ghrelin levels rise while leptin levels drop. The result: your brain thinks you're starving even if you've already eaten enough. This is why, after a poor night of sleep, people tend to crave high-calorie foods, especially sugar and processed carbs. Your body is desperately looking for quick energy to compensate for the fatigue. Studies have shown that people who sleep less than 6 hours a night consume significantly more calories the next day compared to those who sleep 7 to 8 hours. But it's not just about appetite. Sleep loss also slows down your metabolism. When the body is exhausted, it becomes less efficient at processing glucose, the sugar in your blood. Over time, this can increase the risk of insulin resistance, which is a major step toward developing type 2 diabetes. Now combine increased hunger, stronger cravings, and a slower metabolism. It's easy to see why chronic sleep deprivation is strongly linked to weight gain and obesity. But the effects of poor sleep don't stop at your waistline. In fact, one of the most immediate impacts appears in your mind. Have you ever noticed how small problems feel much bigger when you're tired? That's not just in your head, it's happening in your brain. When you're sleep deprived, the part of the brain responsible for emotional regulation, called the prefrontal cortex, becomes less active. At the same time, the amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm system, becomes more reactive. In simple terms, your emotional brakes weaken while your emotional gas pedal gets stronger. That's why people who lack sleep often feel more irritable, stressed, or overwhelmed by situations that normally wouldn't bother them. Research from neuroscience labs has shown that sleep-deprived individuals can experience up to a 60% increase in emotional reactivity. This means arguments escalate faster, frustration builds more quickly, and stress feels harder to manage. And there's another hidden effect. Sleep deprivation also interferes with the brain's ability to process positive experiences. When you're tired, your brain becomes less responsive to rewarding or happy moments. Over time, this can contribute to feelings of low motivation and even symptoms linked to depression. Think about it, when someone is constantly tired, they may withdraw socially, feel less productive, and struggle to enjoy activities they once loved. Sleep quietly shapes how we experience life itself. But perhaps the most surprising impact of poor sleep isn't weight or mood, it's how it may influence how long you live. During sleep, your body performs critical repair work. Cells regenerate, tissues heal, and your immune system strengthens its defenses. It's almost like a nightly maintenance cycle that keeps your body running smoothly. When sleep is cut short night after night, that repair system never fully finishes its job. Large long-term studies have found that people who consistently sleep fewer than 6 hours per night have a higher risk of heart disease, weakened immunity, and chronic inflammation. These conditions are closely tied to many of the leading causes of early death. Even your brain undergoes a deep cleaning process while you sleep. Scientists discovered that during deep sleep, a system called the glymphatic system clears out metabolic waste from the brain, including proteins linked to neurodegenerative diseases. Without enough sleep, that waste can accumulate over time. So when we sacrifice sleep for productivity, entertainment, or late-night habits, we may actually be trading short-term convenience for long-term health. And the truth is, many people today are living in a constant state of mild sleep deprivation without even realizing it. But here's where things get even more fascinating, because the body doesn't just suffer when sleep is poor, it also tries to send warning signals. And some of those signals might already be happening to you without you noticing. Imagine waking up after a short night of sleep and immediately feeling irritated, foggy, and strangely hungry. Many people think this is just normal tiredness, but inside your body, something much bigger is happening. When sleep is cut short, powerful hormones begin to shift in ways that can affect your mood, appetite, and even your long-term health. Scientists have discovered that sleep deprivation directly affects two important hormones that control hunger, ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is often called the hunger hormone. It signals your brain that it's time to eat. Leptin, on the other hand, tells your brain that you're full. When you don't sleep enough, ghrelin levels rise while leptin levels fall. This creates the perfect storm for overeating. That's why after a poor night of sleep, people often crave sugary snacks, fast food, and high-calorie comfort meals. Your brain is literally pushing you to eat more energy, dense foods. Research has shown that people who sleep less than 6 hours per night tend to consume hundreds of extra calories the next day compared to those who sleep 7 to 8 hours. But the impact of sleep deprivation goes even deeper than appetite. Your body's ability to process sugar begins to change as well. Insulin, the hormone that controls blood sugar levels, becomes less effective when you're sleep deprived. This condition, known as insulin resistance, means that glucose stays longer in your bloodstream instead of being used for energy. Over time, this can increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Your metabolism also slows down. When you're tired, your body becomes less efficient at burning calories. At the same time, fatigue reduces your motivation to move. Instead of exercising or staying active, you may feel like resting more. This combination, eating more calories while burning fewer, creates a strong link between chronic sleep deprivation and weight gain. But sleep loss doesn't just affect your body. It deeply affects your brain and emotional health as well. Inside the brain, sleep plays a critical role in regulating emotions. One important area involved in emotional processing is the amygdala, which reacts to stress and fear. Studies using brain imaging have shown that when people are sleep deprived, the amygdala becomes up to 60% more reactive. In simple terms, your emotional reactions become stronger and harder to control. This is why, after a sleepless night, small problems can suddenly feel overwhelming. You may feel more irritable, anxious, or easily frustrated. Even simple conversations might trigger stronger emotional responses than usual. At the same time, another brain region called the prefrontal cortex, which helps with decision making and emotional control, becomes less active when you're tired. So not only are your emotions stronger, but your brain's ability to manage them is weaker. This imbalance explains why lack of sleep can increase the risk of anxiety, depression, and mood instability. Memory and concentration also begin to suffer. During deep sleep, your brain organizes and stores information from the day. It strengthens important memories and removes unnecessary data, almost like cleaning and organizing a hard drive. When sleep is shortened, this process is interrupted. As a result, you may find it harder to focus, learn new information, or remember details. Reaction time also slows down, which can increase the risk of accidents while driving or working. Even creativity and problem-solving ability are affected. Sleep helps the brain connect ideas and form new insights. When sleep is lacking, the brain struggles to make these connections, making tasks that require thinking or planning much harder. But perhaps the most surprising effect of long-term sleep deprivation involves something many people rarely think about: aging and longevity. Researchers studying large populations have found that people who consistently sleep fewer than 6 hours per night tend to have a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, obesity, diabetes, and even a shorter lifespan. One reason involves chronic inflammation. When your body doesn't get enough sleep, it enters a low-level inflammatory state. Inflammation is part of the body's natural defense system, but when it remains constantly elevated, it can slowly damage blood vessels, organs, and tissues over time. Sleep deprivation also increases levels of the stress hormone cortisol. High cortisol levels over long periods can raise blood pressure, weaken the immune system, and accelerate cellular aging. In fact, scientists studying chromosomes have discovered that chronic sleep deprivation may shorten structures called telomeres. Telomeres protect the ends of your DNA, and shorter telomeres are associated with faster biological aging. In other words, consistently poor sleep doesn't just make you feel older, it may actually make your body age faster on a cellular level. But here's the encouraging part. Many of these negative effects can begin to reverse when sleep improves. The body has an incredible ability to repair and restore itself when given proper rest. Even just a few nights of good sleep can improve mood, restore hormone balance, enhance mental clarity, and support better metabolic health. Your brain becomes sharper, your emotional stability improves, and your body regains the ability to regulate appetite and energy more effectively. Now imagine the opposite scenario. Instead of waking up exhausted and foggy, you wake up feeling clear-headed, emotionally balanced, and full of energy. Your body feels lighter, your mind feels sharper, and even simple tasks seem easier. This is what happens when your brain and body finally get the deep, restorative sleep they truly need. The good news is that improving sleep quality is often possible with small, science-based lifestyle changes. You don't always need complicated treatments. Many times, the key lies in understanding how your body's natural sleep system works. Your body runs on an internal biological clock known as the circadian rhythm. This rhythm controls when you feel alert and when you feel sleepy. It responds strongly to light and darkness. In the morning, sunlight signals your brain to stop producing melatonin, the hormone that promotes sleep, and start releasing hormones that help you wake up and feel energized. But when this rhythm becomes disrupted by late night screen time, irregular sleep schedules, or artificial light at night, your brain receives mixed signals. As a result, melatonin production gets delayed, making it harder to fall asleep even when your body is tired. One of the most powerful ways to restore healthy sleep is simply maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time every day helps train your circadian rhythm. Over time, your brain learns when it should start preparing for sleep and when it should wake up naturally. Another important factor is light exposure. Getting natural sunlight during the morning helps reset your internal clock. Even 10 to 20 minutes of daylight soon after waking can improve sleep quality later that night. On the other hand, reducing exposure to bright screens and artificial light in the evening allows melatonin to rise naturally. That's why many sleep experts recommend avoiding phones, tablets, and laptops at least 1 hour before bedtime. The blue light from screens tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, delaying the signals that tell your body it's time to rest. Your sleep environment also plays a crucial role. The brain sleeps best in a space that is cool, dark, and quiet. Lowering room temperature slightly can help your body enter deeper sleep because your core temperature naturally drops when you fall asleep. Even your daily habits affect sleep more than most people realize. Caffeine, for example, can stay in your system for 6 to 8 hours. Drinking coffee late in the afternoon may silently interfere with your ability to fall asleep at night. Physical activity also has a strong relationship with sleep. Regular exercise helps regulate circadian rhythms, reduce stress hormones, and increase deep sleep stages. But intense workouts right before bedtime may temporarily increase alertness, so earlier exercise tends to be more beneficial. Stress management is another major factor. When your mind is filled with worries or racing thoughts, your nervous system stays in a state of alertness. This prevents the body from entering the calm, relaxed state needed for sleep. Simple relaxation techniques, like deep breathing, meditation, or quiet reading, can help signal to your brain that the day is ending and it's safe to rest. Over time, these calming routines create a psychological cue that prepares your mind for sleep. It's also important to understand that occasional poor sleep is normal. Everyone experiences restless nights from time to time, but when sleep deprivation becomes chronic, lasting weeks, months, or even years, it begins to affect nearly every system in the body. Your metabolism changes, your emotional balance shifts, your immune system weakens, and your long-term health risks increase. What seems like a small habit, staying up late every night, can slowly influence your weight, your mood, and even how long you live. Sleep is not wasted time. It's one of the most powerful biological processes your body has for repair, recovery, and renewal. Every night, your brain is cleaning toxins, organizing memories, balancing hormones, and repairing cells. Your heart slows down, your muscles recover, and your immune system strengthens. When sleep is protected, your body functions the way it was designed to. Your energy improves, your focus sharpens, and your emotional resilience grows stronger. And perhaps most importantly, good sleep supports a healthier and longer life. As we reach the end, it's important to remember one simple truth: sleep is not a luxury. It's one of the most powerful pillars of human health. Many people focus on diet, exercise, and productivity, but underestimate the silent role sleep plays in keeping the body balanced. Yet every night while you rest, your body is performing some of its most critical work. Your brain organizes memories, clears harmful toxins, balances hormones, and prepares you mentally and physically for the next day. When sleep is consistently shortened or disrupted, these processes cannot work properly. Over time, this can influence your mood, your energy, your metabolism, and even your long-term risk of serious diseases. What may start as a few late nights can gradually turn into chronic sleep deprivation that quietly affects nearly every system in your body. But the encouraging part is that improving sleep often begins with small, manageable changes. Going to bed at the same time each night, reducing screen exposure before sleep, getting natural sunlight during the day, staying physically active, and creating a calm bedtime routine can all help reset your body's natural rhythm. These simple habits signal to your brain that it's safe to rest. And when your body begins receiving consistent sleep, the benefits start appearing quickly: better focus, improved mood, stronger immunity, and more stable energy throughout the day. Think of sleep as your body's nightly reset button. Without it, the system slowly wears down. With it, the body repairs, recharges, and prepares you for a healthier future. So the next time you consider sacrificing sleep to finish one more task, scroll a little longer on your phone, or watch another episode late at night, remember this: protecting your sleep is one of the most powerful investments you can make in your health, your longevity, and your overall quality of life. Because sometimes the most productive thing you can do is simply get a good night's sleep.